Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this private session of tapping that I'm getting ready to do with Karen. If you haven't already listened to the podcast episode, I definitely suggest starting there so that you understand kind of the background on EFT tapping and how and why this might apply to you. So today, I know Karen deals a lot with decision making on her podcast and in her business. And we're going to look at a decision that she's trying to make right now. Now, this decision is not necessarily a divorce related decision. Thank goodness. I know you're in a happy marriage. But decisions all share certain similar elements. So you can tap along with us while you're focusing in on the decision that you're trying to make, and you can make this relevant to what you're going through, even if what Karen is going through with her decision making process is different. So I always trust that people who are listening can connect the dots and see the different ways to translate things. And I'm going to put that trust in all of you who are tapping along with us today, too. So, Karen, tell me about this decision that you're trying to make right now.
Okay, so I have a signature program that I call my divorce roadmap, and it is now in its 2.0 version, but it could be time for a 3.0. I'm not sure. And the struggle with the decision is that to upgrade this program, which is over 8 hours of video,
Mm,
is takes a tremendous amount of time and effort and resources, right? So what I'm trying to figure out as a business owner who's trying to serve my clients in the best way possible, is that the best use of the resources? Should I do the 3.0 version? Or is it going to be better to just say, no, let's table that for a while. What's working is still working. Put your resources somewhere else, and you can better serve clients in a different way or a different forum.
okay. So are these, so they go through the course, they watch all the videos. Is there group work or individual sessions, or how do you bring that in?
No, it is all there is all video based. And then there's handouts and worksheets and things that they can do on their own. This is a
A self,
self-directed
okay.
course.
Gotcha.
And also for my private clients, they get access to the same course. So they get the private stuff or they get the self-directed stuff plus one-on-one
Gotcha.
coaching, or you can buy it as a standalone either way.
Okay. That's, I have a very similar model with what I do. So I understand that. Is the information outdated, or is it just that you know things in a different, better way now that you feel you could convey it like and make it more effective?
Both. Some of the information is a little bit dated, and what I've done is put update videos in just for the things that need to be um, sort of updated or changed a little bit to make them more current.
Okay.
But it's kind of a Frankenstein in my mind. The rest of the world
How old are
probably
these
thinks it's
videos, Karen? How old are they?
oh, I don't know, a couple years. Divorce law doesn't usually change.
So only like a like 2 years maybe?
I think it's more like 3 or 4 now.
Okay.
It's
So
more
like
like
three,
three
four
or
years.
four. So in the world of the internet, things change really fast. That would be ancient in the world of the internet. In the world of the divorce system, it's not that old.
Okay. When you think about updating this program, what are the feelings that come up for you?
Um, Part of it is like overwhelm. Think because this was the last time I updated the program. It is a giant project, like big. So part of it is overwhelm. Part of it is like, do I really want to take on all this work? And then the other part of it is, but will it be so much better? Will it be more helpful for people? There's also things that aren't in the original program that through feedback from people, I know that they would like. So I could, you know, add things or maybe structure. The other thing is maybe I'll structure the program a different way to be more helpful. Different people find different structures helpful, and I want to make sure that that it people can use it, that it gives them a resource that actually helps them along in their divorce rather than just be one more thing to do, because nobody when they're going through a divorce needs one more thing to do.
Right. Yeah. And then it's also like, how could you leverage the change if you were going to do it? As far as like, maybe you have people that you could reach out to that haven't worked with you yet or gotten the program that you could ask for feedback and draw back into conversation to have
That's
purchase
true.
from you. So there are some upsides and some ways that you could actually get more of that feedback that you want so that when you make those changes, you make the changes that are most desired by the people who have yet to work with you, or even the people who already have. Maybe there's a way that they could be drawn into deeper work or something through helping you to reevaluate the existing program.
Potentially, the challenge with the work that I do is it's very, for most people, it's time bound. I mean, you start a divorce, you go through a
Yes.
divorce, you end it, you don't want to have anything to do with it again. You're done. So it's, re-engaging
Yeah, that's
becomes a
not necessarily
challenge
appealing for what you do.
unless people are still mired in the process.
Okay. Um, so you're hung up on the overwhelm and the what ifs and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, what would resolution to this feel like for you? Like, what would it feel like to have clarity about this decision?
relief to finally, and I think at that point, and this is one of the things that I even coach my own clients on. It's like once you make a decision, immediately you let go of all the negative emotions, and that gives you the
Mhm.
space to start working on a solution, one way or the other. That
Yeah.
you're not constantly wondering, should I do that? Should I, you've made the decision. Now it's time to either do or not do, as Yoda would say.
Yes. Yes. So when you think, I'm going to start redoing this program, how do you feel?
Part of it, part of the feeling is like, oh my God, are you kidding me? This is so much work.
Okay.
And part of me is thinking, yeah, but I could do this and I could tweak that and I could make this better. And wouldn't this be, I mean, I have to admit, it would be exciting in some ways.
Hmm.
But
And when you
so it's
think,
like,
I'm gonna table this for the next year and just see what happens, then how do you feel?
that doesn't feel good either.
Okay. What does that
So,
bring up?
like, that I'm just kicking the can. It's the feeling of then you're going to keep dealing with this again. Why not do it now? So it's kind of that feeling of like there's a tightness in my gut either way. And
But
there's,
this program is what you want to stick with. This is like your thing and you're happy with it and you want to
yep.
make it amazing.
Yeah, this is my signature flagship program. And one of the things that I may do is break it into little chunks, which is kind of the exciting part. Because then for people who don't want to buy the whole program, if it was in pieces, they can buy whatever piece they want, right? So it opens up the opportunity of reaching a lot more people who wouldn't necessarily get the single program, right?
Yeah.
So there's it's like any other big decision, there's pros and cons on every side, right?
Yep. There are. So when you think about the overwhelm, when you think about the stress and all the stuff that goes into recreating this program, let's give this feeling a rating where 10 is like a lot of charge and a lot of, indecision and overwhelm, and 0 is like, I already know what I'm going to do. Where are you?
I would say, and oh, the other thing I didn't mention too is, it's not just time, it's resources as well, right? Redoing a program at this level that's this big, I mean, I need help, so it's going to cost money. Take
Okay.
time, cost money. It's all the things my clients deal with in a divorce situation. They know it's going to take time, cost money, not be necessarily fun in the doing of it, except that in my instance, it will be fun in the doing of it. So it's that push-pull, but it's the same kind of thing. So when I think about what what it feels like like, I would probably say 7, 8.
Pretty activated. All right. Now we're going to tap and we're going to see what kind of clarity we can bring to the decision. So this is just
Okay.
going to be like follow the leader. I'm going to tap a part and say something. You're going to tap the same part and say the same thing back. Unless
Okay.
I'm totally off base and you're like, that is not at all how I feel. Now, I do sneak some things in that might not be quite how you feel. In those cases, say them anyway and see what happens. But if it's like completely against the grain, speak up.
Okay.
All right. Even though I just don't want to make this decision about recreating my course
Even though I just don't want to make this decision about recreating my course
because I don't like either way.
because I don't like either way.
I'm open to the idea that a decision is available to me.
I'm open to the idea that a decision is available to me.
Even though this is my signature program, it's really important.
Even though this is my signature program and it's really important.
And it feels like 3.0 is waiting in the wings.
And it feels like 3.0 is waiting in the wings.
I've got a lot of resistance.
I've got a lot of resistance.
And I accept myself anyway.
And I accept myself anyway.
And even though there are so many decisions inside of this decision,
And even though there are so many decisions inside of this decision,
this is a really big undertaking.
this is a really big undertaking.
And I can't even make the first decision of whether or not to do it.
And I can't even make the first decision of whether or not to do it.
It feels like it's going to take forever.
I feel like it's going to take forever.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Oh, this indecision.
Oh, this indecision.
And even if I make a decision, there's 100 more to make.
And even if I make a decision, there's 100 more to make.
I realistically know I need to remake this program.
I realistically know I need to remake this program.
And if I put it off, I'm just going to feel like I'm kicking it down the road.
And if I put it off, I'm just going to feel like I'm kicking it down the road.
But I just don't feel like getting behind the driver's seat and doing it yet.
But I just don't feel like getting behind the driver's seat and doing it yet.
It is so many hours of video.
It is so many hours of video.
Do I recreate them all? Do I make addendums? What do I do?
Do I recreate them all? Do I make addendums? What do I do?
Do people even care if I update the program?
Do people even care if I update the program?
Or am I going to be wasting my time?
Or am I going to be wasting my time?
What if I hire all these people to help me and it doesn't even matter?
What if I hire all these people to help me and it doesn't even matter?
What if it doesn't change my business at all?
What if it doesn't change my business at all?
Maybe nobody will notice all the effort I put in.
Maybe nobody will notice all the effort I put in.
So I'm just really resistant to put in the effort when I don't feel like I know what's going to happen.
So I'm really resistant to putting in the effort when I don't feel I know what's going to happen.
What would it take to make this easy?
What would it take to make this easy?
What would it take for me to feel really secure in my decision to redo this course?
What would it take for me to feel really secure in my decision to redo this course?
Maybe it's something I've never even thought of.
Maybe it's something I've never even thought of.
All this indecision.
All this indecision.
When I think I really do know what I need to do.
Well, I think I really do know what I need to do.
But it just feels like opening up a whole can of worms.
But it just feels like opening up a whole can of worms.
So what if I could just make the first part of the decision?
So what if I could just make the first part of the decision?
And decide that I'm moving toward some kind of upgrade in my program.
And decide that I'm moving toward some kind of upgrade in my program.
And then I'm open to it being different than maybe I'm even imagining right now.
And I'm open to it being different than maybe I'm even imagining right now.
Just clearing all this resistance to making this decision
I'm just clearing all this resistance to making this decision
down to a cellular level
down to a cellular level
and recognizing how difficult I'm making this decision making process for myself.
and recognizing how difficult I'm making this decision-making process for myself.
And how much better I'm going to feel just knowing what direction I'm moving in.
And how much better I'm going to feel just knowing which direction I'm moving in.
We're going to tap the sides of the fingers, starting with the side of the thumb. With love,
With love,
side of this finger, acceptance,
acceptance,
middle finger, tolerance,
tolerance,
skip to the pinky, and understanding.
and understanding.
I forgive myself, back of the hand, like behind, right between like your ring finger and your pinky finger. I forgive myself for making this so difficult,
I forgive myself for making this so difficult,
for overcomplicating things that can be easy.
for overcomplicating things that can be easy.
And I call my power back into my body
And I call my power back into my body
for an easy decision making process.
for an easy decision-making process.
Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, Karen, and exhale. You might feel like stretching or yawning or who knows what. Energy moves in all different ways. How was that for you? How was your first EFT tapping experience?
That was nice. That was nice. I do have to have a confession. I have tried tapping in a group before in a big seminar kind of thing. This is my first individual session, but I have done it in a big room.
Yeah, so we tried to make it more specific for your particular things, whereas group work,
Exactly.
while it can be massively healing and it's great to, play off the energy of everybody else, it's usually less specific and it clears less particular blockages. So,
Yeah.
when you think about the overwhelm related to making this decision, where do you feel like you are on that scale of 0 to 10 now?
It's definitely lower. It's probably down to a 3.
Great. That's a huge shift for what, like 10 minutes that we put into that.
Yeah.
So at this point, like if I'm working with somebody, I kind of like go into like what's left and work on that. Like if you were looking for the next thing to tap on for anybody, even those of you who are tapping along with us on your decision making process, think about what's left. Like what makes up, like for Karen, what makes up that 3? And then that would be the next thing that you look into to resolve and to, get rid of the blockage around. So yeah, how do you feel about the decision? Any aha moments or anything that arose for you while you were doing that?
Yeah, things like the idea, first of all, the idea that I am making this difficult. Hard to believe, but yeah, that potential, and that there are, as I coach my own clients, it's not a binary decision to say that I'm open to possibilities of upgrading in whatever way, that it might not be an all-out revamp, that, there may be some parts that I can keep or that I can change, or that this might look differently than what I think.
Yeah. How long do you
That
think it would take you to redo it all? Like if you committed today and you started the process tomorrow, like in a perfect world, like how long do you think it would take you to redo the whole thing?
if I had consistent blocks of, like consistent, you start in the morning, you go to the end of the day, um, which I don't, probably 40, 50 hours.
Okay.
So like at least a full overloaded work week.
Okay.
Like,
So realistically, like what would that take you? Like a month, 2 months? Like what to fit it in and do it?
yeah, a couple of months for sure.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you have potential to maybe like pre-sell it and give yourself that confidence that it's worth your time and effort.
Yeah, I've thought of doing that as well, and that may be what I do. The challenge of it, for me, and what I've got to plan on, is I think that from the time you pre-sell till the time you deliver has got to be 30 days or less. So the question is,
What about
can I carve out that amount of time to do the thing beforehand?
I mean, I think you can make the time frame whatever you want the time frame to be, but what if you delivered your current program to people and got feedback and asked them what they wanted more of and made it part of the program? Like they could actually be like your test pilots for it, you know?
They
And
are the
and,
people
and
who,
then they would receive the new program.
yeah, that's another way of going. And that's actually how I launched the 2.0 program. It was in its original version. It was time. I knew it was time. But I did the same thing. And so I said to people, hey, if you buy the existing program, you get the existing program. And then when the upgrade comes out, you will also get access to the upgrade.
Or if the upgrade was delivered in the fashion of like a group call format, like you know what you're going to cover, but there's room for Q&A and those calls could be part of the library, then you could sell a more high ticket version of it to those people who would get to participate, and what you archive from working with them would be the next program.
Yeah, that's an idea. My challenge is that I've got people from all different parts, all along the timeline. So
Sure.
this program, if you're already towards the end of your divorce, you're past the program, right? You don't need it. But for the people who are in the decision-making stage, who are in the beginning of their divorce, even, past the beginning a little bit, this program is amazing. But the people who buy it, some people might not even be ready to divorce yet. Some people are already, they've hired a lawyer, they're in the process, they're doing the things, right? So to get like the open Q&A works, but with, caveats that
Right.
not all people want to be in. Like some people don't want to be seen. If they're still thinking
Sure.
about this, they don't want anybody, they don't want to out themselves because they're not sure what they're going to do yet.
Yeah.
But you can't make that decision until you have information, and that's where the program becomes invaluable.
Absolutely. Just trying to shine a light in unconventional places and spaces that might make it both easier for you and more profitable and more beneficial to the
Yeah.
people who get it, and have it be a win-win for everybody. I'm sure
Yeah.
there is the perfect answer out there that would make it all of those things. And I hope you find it.
Yeah, thank you. But this is real. I'm at least much calmer about it. Let's say
Good.
that.
And I mean, and that is the place from where we can
Me,
expand and open to those possibilities, and also have
100%.
that new perspective on like, you know what, hey, I did it. You've done it once, you've created it once, and it is great and it's sold and it's been wonderful. This next version, like, how can it not be epic? And that's kind of the next stuff that you might be tapping in. Like, even though I'm apprehensive about it, I know it's going to be amazing, and I accept myself. But, this is going to be amazing. Like, how could this possibly be a waste of my time? I know what I'm doing, and the first version's great. This next version is going to knock people's socks off, and just pumping up that energy moving forward. So,
Yeah,
thank
that's a
you for
great
putting your
idea.
trust in me.
Thank you so much. This was beautiful. My first one-on-one tapping session. I loved it.
Beautiful. And for any of you who tapped along, I always love to hear from people. I'll bet Karen does too. You can find me on Instagram at Teresa Lear Levine. Send me a DM and let me know how it went for you, like where you were on that scale with your decision before you started and after, and what's left. And Karen, how do you like people to reach out to you if they want to tell you about their decision making progress?
The best place is off my website, karencovy.com. That's KarenCovy.com. There is no E in my version of Covey. Otherwise, I'd be related to somebody famous and, it'd be a whole different life.
Well, you help people shift their mindsets just like Stephen Covey does. It's Stephen, right? Am I
Yeah,
saying
it
that?
is Stephen Covey. God rest his soul. He's gone now, but I think his son, Stephen M.R. Covey. So there's another Stephen, but yeah, I'm trying to, I have toyed with the idea of knocking on their door and saying, "Hi, I'm your long lost relative," but I'm not sure how that would go.
Well, thank you all for tapping along. And, you can find many other sessions on many other topics within this resource. And I welcome you to peruse and see what fits what you've got going on in your life and address it from there. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.